Speaker.
I call Stephen Browning.
Mr Speaker, I rise to speak to the Government Communications Security Bureau and related legislation amendment bill. The question has to be, who makes New Zealand's spying law and who is it for? Clearly it's for John Key and his mates, but it's also, I suggest, Mr Speaker, for Echelon, the Five Nations USA-dominated spy agency that has its GCSB arm run spy domes at Waihopai. This week, Mr Speaker, there are 3 different significant spy activities going on in New Zealand. One is these new spy laws being fast-tracked into Parliament instead of an independent inquiry, first into the GCSB, its illegal spying on us Kiwis and its functions. 2 is the faux damages trial of the 3 penniless dome-busting peace activists for $1.2 million for their costs for popping one of the Waihopai domes while trying to interrupt New Zealand's part in the bloodshed of innocence. GCSB material again. That really embarrassed New Zealand to its USA, UK, Australian and Canadian spy mates. So today, Mr Speaker, John Key's got a gift for them, this bill. 3 is very disturbing as well, I think. Today, the US Attorney General Eric Holder is in Auckland, New Zealand, for the Five Nation meeting of Attorney Generals. That's the US Attorney General, Aussie Attorney General, New Zealand Attorney General, England, Wales and Northern Ireland Attorney General and Canadian Attorney General, the same group from Echelon. And also today they're holding a joint session with the FBI-instigated Strategic Alliance Group comprising the same Five Nations federal policing agencies. FBI, Australian Federal Police, UK Serious Organised Crime Agency, New Zealand Police, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. So the 5 Echelon states have their Attorney Generals and policing agencies all here having a chat, Mr Speaker, including, among other things, Kim.com's mega upload. And who knows what of the other 88 people they're legally spied on by GCSB that this bill intends to make legal in the future. John Key must feel very, very smug at having new spying law for his mates in town that can allow Echelon spying on effectively anyone and have total access to all telecommunications and internet systems. A big focus will be on the USA-UK corporate masters' income protection, including their Hollywood mates, Mr Speaker, but a huge, huge loss for the civil liberties for Kiwis. New Zealand needs to break away from these alliances that are set on protecting the USA-UK industrial military complex and show an independent, peace-loving example predicated on human and civil rights. So John Key and his hand-picked mate, GCSB Director Ian Fletcher, spying on us New Zealanders. And I'll just do a little reminder of where this law came from in 2003, where MPs repeatedly commented on how there was nothing to worry about because the bill expressly stated that New Zealanders couldn't be spied on, but we know of 88 now at least. 2003, Tony Ryle said, "People who have quite a bent on conspiracy theories and seem to think that the Government Communications Security Bureau ever does is listen on New Zealanders' telephone calls, which is, of course, expressly prohibited. The Bureau is not allowed to listen in on New Zealanders." Mr Speaker, Peter Dunn then also said he would listen to no concerns when the 2003 bill was passed, and he said, "This is a good bill. I do not accept the criticism of those who speak against it, that somehow it means that information about people will be gathered improperly." Well, Tony Ryle and Peter Dunn show how clear it was to Parliament when it passed that bill that the GCSB was not permitted to spy on New Zealanders. The law and the intent of the law was not confusing. The GCSB just didn't follow it. There is no justification for the expansion of powers other than the GCSB was breaking the law. It is not needed. The law is adequate. Mr Speaker, the Greens want an inquiry. We think the bill should be pulled and we oppose it. Thank you, Mr Speaker.
I call Tim McIndoe.
Speaker, the bill is needed and the law is inadequate, and that's exactly why we are introducing this measure this afternoon. It is naive to suggest